Today's guest is a big fan of Jurassic Park and Scooby-Doo. She has blue, icy locks, but a big, warm, nerdy heart. She's had more knee injuries than I've had husbands. I've had 2, if you're keeping track. Ladies and gentlemen, my girl, Allie Recks. So let's talk about what's going on behind you, because our listeners will be able to watch this via YouTube.
Ooh.
What is this collection I see?
So this is my toy room. This is my huge collection. So right behind me is like my side of it. It's me and my husband's room too. So the dinosaurs, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, that's literally all me. The Scooby-Doo you see on this side, that's all me too. Those are my 2 favorite things ever. I'm a child at heart. Okay.
No, I love it. No, so my stepson, he is on the spectrum. Well, I guess I don't know how that works. My ex's son. So I don't think you have ex stepsons. He's still my son. He's obsessed with dinosaurs. So it looks like his bedroom on that side of your room.
If I could make my bedroom like that, if my husband would let me, I 1000% would. But he said we have to have a mature bedroom.
Fine. I guess you have to have some seriousness in your life.
A little bit. Just sad.
Is your husband a wrestler as well?
Yes, actually. That's how I met him. My first day of training. That's where he was.
In training?
Yep. So his name is Mike Orlando. He's the Green Machine. He's been wrestling, oh my God, I should know this, over 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's actually trained me for the last couple of years, showed me most of what I know, aside from when I just started.
Yeah. Now, do you find that a positive or do you find it challenging? Because it is wrestling, it is fun, but when you're a couple and you work together, that's it's hard to take things not personally, and like, is it challenging, or is there more pros than there are cons?
I would say there's more pros than cons. I mean, at times it does get challenging because there really is not a time of the day that we're not together. So, we do wrestling together, obviously. Every now and then we'll be a tag team or I'll manage him, but we are like separate entities, like entirely. But aside from that, aside from obviously being married and living together, we also run a gym in Sarasota. He's the general manager and I'm actually his assistant manager. Okay. So we work with each other all day, every day, on top of it. Sometimes like when it's stressful, it'll be challenging, but for the first 4 years that I've known him, he was my best friend. So either way, I was spending like every minute with him, whether it was training or we were working out at the gym or we were going to the trampoline places. Like we were always doing something. So it's not something I'm not used to.
I really love that. It's that's a true testament to your strength as a couple. Like you literally do everything together.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So COVID ain't no thing for you guys.
No, we were honestly used to that.
Well, you lived in Florida, so COVID was not a thing anyways.
It's like the Wild West out here. Like I talked to my parents and all my family that are still up in Jersey, and there's still like a lockdown to like this day. And like when I go up there and visit, I'm like, whoa, this is really different. Out here, it's like it doesn't even exist anymore in a way. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to get like political or too much in the COVID whatever, but like they pushed us to get our vaccines here, and I'm a first responder, I'm a firefighter, so like for me it was a no-brainer. I'm protect myself, protect the vulnerable communities. I'm going to get the vaccine for my job. But now, a lot of people got the vaccine so they could go places. They could still go to restaurants or entertainment venues. They just kind of locked down everything again for about a month. We're coming out of it, and now they're taking away the vaccine passport. So it's like you didn't even need to get the vaccine if you
on top of it, right?
So it's a little awkward around here.
You never know what to do.
How have you survived in the independent wrestling world during COVID? Has it been busy for you? What have you done to stay afloat, keep your momentum going?
I took bookings here and there, but during COVID is when my husband actually blew his knee out.
Oh, boy.
So we were out here alone, so I did have to take care of him majority of the time when I could if I wasn't working. So I my booking slowed down, which I was 1000 like percent okay with. While it slowed down, we kind of evolved our characters a little bit, and when he did come back, that's when I came back with like blue hair instead of blonde hair and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool to evolve with him. I didn't need to take the time off, but I enjoyed the time off at the same time.
Cool. So, where are you in your wrestling career in terms of you've been wrestling on the indies for a while, but what are you focusing on? Because you're at that point now where you're probably like, independents are going to be my happiness, and it's where I get to be creative. Are you hoping to make wrestling like your full-time job?
Yes, 1000%. If you would have asked me that probably like 3 years ago,
Yeah.
I would have been planning my wedding with my husband, and I literally would have contently said like I'm cool with just this. Like as long as I have wrestling always, this is fine, pretty much.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was so happy with everything that I said. Like if it kind of did end tomorrow, I think I would be okay. But fast forward 3 years later, and now that I'm injured and I've been out for 8 months now. Yeah, I can't do this. I'm going absolutely insane.
Sure.
There's honestly no other option now. There's no brainer at this point. I have to make it at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to stop trying until I'm back and I'm stronger and healthier and I make it because I will one day.
Good for you. And that's fire, right? Like there's always a little bit of a disaster. There's always a little bit of a roadblock right before you push to the other side. So keep pushing. You'll get there. I feel it in you. I can feel that like passion and energy, and oh, it's so exciting.
We're getting there. I have about 4 months left of my recovery until I'm supposed to be released. I'm scheduled to be released June 17th.
Cool.
So that was a
So
full year. So I have 4 more months and I'm going to be ready.
Okay, we won't spend too much on the doom and gloom, but let's talk a little bit about your injury. What happened?
It was actually a freak accident. It was a move that I've done a million times. That's probably what 99% of the other stories you get about injuries.
Yeah.
Never anything cool like jumping off the top or jumping out the ring.
No, it's like I sneezed and I slipped a disc.
100%. So I was like, it was a show, but it was like a training kind of show.
Okay.
I was on her shoulders. It was right before the finish. I was supposed to just fight off her shoulders, slide off her back. I was gonna push her, roll under, and hit my spear, which was the finish. That was the whole thing. So I got through the whole match, man, and then it was the last like 30 seconds of it. But I was up on her shoulders. I went to fight to get down. I slid down the back of her back, and I didn't land like square. I landed with all my weight on my left side, and it just kind of whoop. So I felt it. This wasn't the first time that
In your
I've
knee,
torn
right?
Yeah, the
Okay.
left knee. So it wasn't the first time that I've torn my ACL and my meniscus.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is actually the fourth.
Fourth? Jesus,
The fourth.
girl.
Yeah, I know, on the same leg.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I knew exactly what I did. So it was more so, okay, I have like 10, 15 seconds left of the match, get to the finish, and do what you got to do. I already knew the road I was going to have after that. The surgery, the rehab, the exercises. The last time I had the surgery was in 2016. So it wasn't too long ago. So that's something I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess the experience is good, but I'm sure there's a part of you that's like, what the hell with this
Yeah.
knee?
It's so frustrating because it always seems to be at the peak of like when I'm doing something. Like the first
Right.
time I blew it out was I was 13 and I was a cheerleader. I did all-star cheerleading. I cheered for 14 years. So that was like
Wow.
my big thing. Right before competition, I was warming up. They threw me up. They decided, let me not catch you this time around. And there went my knee that time. And I was like right at the peak of my cheerleading career. And then I did it again in high school playing softball, which I played for 14 years too.
Wow.
So it was my junior year. We were supposed to be going to states and regionals, all that fun stuff. And I slid into home and the catcher blocked the plate and I tore it again. So that costed me my captain of being a captain of the softball team senior year because I did miss out on the junior year because of the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always when I'm at like, I always feel like I'm at the top of the mountain that it seems to happen. So it's super, super frustrating. And at
Yeah.
times I'll sit there and just be like, why me? But
Yeah.
then at the same time, like it really does make you stronger because injuries like are so much harder mentally than they
Oh
are
yeah.
like the physically. Like the pain is honestly nothing now at this point. Like I'm used to that. But like
Yeah.
being out, like, dude.
Well, what gets like okay, so that's really if I kind of take a spiritual aspect of this, everything happens for a reason, as above so below, and it's like the universe is telling you in this really forward way, like, now's not your time, I'm taking it away from
That's what
you.
I'm telling myself too.
Yeah. So how have you recovered? How have you kept this momentum to keep pushing? You haven't let this injury get to you. Like, do you have like a spiritual sort of, like, do you have like rituals that you keep, or like, tell me, because that takes some serious mental
Um,
fortitude.
honestly, distraction.
Yeah.
Just distracting myself. This injury was actually a little bit different. Like the other ones, I always bounce back with within like 6 months. I was back in all sports. This one, they told me it was going to take up to a year. So this one was like a little different mentally on me.
Hmm.
So I tried like a bunch of different things. When I first got hurt, I was super shut off to wrestling.
Mm.
It just upset me because
Okay.
I wanted to be a part of it more than anything in the world at that moment. So I kind of shut down for a little bit. I would say for like 5 months of my
Wow.
recovery. Like I shut down more so as a person. Like I was just defeated in a way.
Of course.
Um, so my first like attempt at distraction was to get a second job. So 3 weeks after my surgery, I was still on crutches. I still had stitches in my leg because for some reason it was taking like forever to heal.
Okay.
And I picked up a job at Best Buy. And that was on top of being assistant manager at the gym.
Hmm.
So I was working like 6 days a week, 50 plus hours on my crutches. And it distracted me, don't get
Yeah,
me
I
wrong.
guess.
But it definitely wasn't what I expected. I didn't focus on myself remotely enough, so that kind of just made it worse. I got more depressed. I missed wrestling a ton, like even more than I did before.
Right.
So I did let go of the Best Buy job, and I just stuck with the gym. And about 6 months in, I finally like snapped out of it and was like, "What are you doing? Like this isn't going to be the end. Like you're fine. You've done this before." So I kind of had to like dust myself off, pick myself up a little bit. I got a trainer at the gym.
Hmm.
So now he's training me a ton. I work out with him like 5 to 6 days a week, and he's put like 10 pounds on me,
Wow.
stuff like that. So now I'm getting almost the full range of motion back in my knee, and I'm squatting with weight again. I'm doing all this stuff that I
Good.
couldn't do like a month and a half ago when I could barely walk up the stairs. So
Good.
now my focus is on me. Like I have to focus more on my recovery and just getting back.
All I can hear is there's ain't nobody gonna hold your ass down.
For a second, like it was a split second, and I was like, "Ah, oh, no, can't do this."
And has there ever been a moment like in your recovery where you're like, I don't know if I could do this. Like I don't know if this is it.
Many, a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, like when I would like go back to the gym for the first time and I would finally move on from like ankle weights and bands to like, let's try the leg press this week and see if you're strong enough for the lowest weight or just the weight in the machine. And I would go to sit on it and I would be all motivated, like, I got this, because mentally I feel stronger than ever. But then I get on the machine and it's flying at my face because
Oh
my
my
leg can't
God.
handle it. Like, those moments I get really upset and I'm just
Of
like, damn,
course.
like I really wish I was further than I was.
Yeah.
Um, but other than like little moments like that, I'm doing really well. Like I'm doing okay.
That's what I want to hear. As long as you're saying that, that's half of it, right? Fake it until you make it.
No,
I'm
yeah,
good. I'm
that's like
getting
the
it.
first thing
Yeah.
you learn.
Oh, truly. And
Yeah.
that's in everything. It's not just wrestling, but as you're drinking your Red Bull, I would like to do a little product placement of my Synergy kombucha.
I love the cup. The cup
Thank
is
you.
super cute too. Like it's on
Skele-
top of it.
Okay, so I want to talk about cheerleading because we did the like depressing injury thing. You're on your way. I'm so glad you have a positive mindset. Keep up your positive mindset. Keep manifesting, girl. This is your year. This is your
2022.
year. But let's talk about cheerleading.
Yes, let's go. I would love to because I miss it. If I could go back for like one day, I 1000% would.
Have you watched that cheer documentary or the cheer series on Netflix?
I think I watched season one of that.
Okay. How accurate is that to cheer culture?
Oh my God, 100% accurate. With
Really?
like coaches in cheerleading are extremely like you think wrestling trainers are bad. Like coaches in cheerleading, they don't give a shit. Pardon like my French there,
No,
but
swear
they
all you
do
want.
not care. Like there's so many times like I've been dropped and like they'll punish the girls that drop you 100%. You're doing 50 push-ups, 50 burpees, something like just for dropping the girl. But they'll tell you, okay, get back up, you're doing it again. And like just being a flyer, like that was so much pressure in cheerleading because you had to be flexible for that. And like
Mm.
I was small, I was light, but I was not flexible. I couldn't pull my leg behind my head.
Who
So like
can?
dude, it was like so rough. There was cheer camps where they would stretch me so hard and so far that I was literally hysterically crying and
Oh
they
my
would
God.
still push my leg back
They
there.
don't
So
care.
no. But like at the same time, stuff like that, like it made me so strong as a person now. Like it at least
Right.
helps me be coachable. And I've went through so many trainers in the gym because like they weren't yelling at me enough and pushing me hard enough because that's just what I'm used to. Like I need somebody on my ass. Like my softball coaches, they were the same way. They
Mhm.
you fell down, your stomach hurt, they didn't care. Like you're still running the stadium.
Right.
So
I think that's like, they always say for a lot of jobs, like I can think of as a firefighter, sports like is a prerequisite. Like it's great to have all the
oh yeah.
certificates and the college training and all the, emergency medical responder, whatever, but you have had to play sports because it mold and high level sports
Oh yeah.
because you have this mental strength and you have this like self-discipline that I'm sure maybe you could have self-taught, but like you've had to play a high level sport to like learn how to eat shit and like it and then do well as a result.
Yeah, but it really did help me. Like, it molded me as a person, 100%.
Yeah. Now, with cheerleading, can you say that there's like receipts? Like for our listeners who are not maybe hardcore wrestling fans, if you make a mistake in the ring or you're taking liberties with somebody, you might get something called a receipt, which could be a punch in the face, a really hard chop, who knows. Are there receipts in cheerleading?
Um, I would say like unspoken receipts, I would say.
Oh,
Like, it would never, nobody would say I did that on purpose because you'd get thrown off the team in a heartbeat.
okay.
The coaches don't play when it comes to stuff like that, but girls are still girls at the end of the day. So there's times where I've had my back spotter when I would like twist down, like if you twist down more than once, it's
Yeah.
really hard to like stay tight. So there's times where I've elbowed them on the way down, not but it's a complete accident. Like
Yeah,
I'm just trying to do what I'm told
of
here.
course. I'm
So
just trying
like
to do my job.
yeah, it's hard. So like I would clip them by accident, and when they catch you as a back spot, they're supposed to keep their arms locked out, but sometimes they would fold them so it would just right back and
Oh
it's
my
like, oh,
God.
okay, I see, I got it, my bad.
So a lot of unspoken subtle
Yeah,
receipts.
like in wrestling they're like, oh yeah, that was a receipt, like there's no problem pointing that out, like yeah, okay. But cheerleading, oh my God, no, you'll be doing push-ups and exercises until practice is over.
What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you over your cheerleading career? Like anything.
um Well, the worst thing ever is that twist I was literally just talking about. We were
Yeah.
in like a regional competition and we were only up against like two other teams that were not really good. So we were totally going to win. And my team was so excited to get like the state finals jackets and stuff. And we knew we had it in the bag.
Yeah.
And just they had different rules at this competition and we were a little bit too advanced for like the competition itself.
Oh.
So like the double twist downs weren't allowed, but I've been doing them all year at other competitions. So at that point, it's like muscle memory, it's habit, it's like
Right.
everything else. So when they threw me up, I was all adrenaline out. I was in the moment. I hit the double twist perfect. I got down. I was like, yes. And everybody was just like, we got disqualified.
Oh
And I was like,
no.
I'm so sorry. Like, I couldn't even stop if I wanted to. Because it's so hard when you're in the moment.
Of
It's just like
course.
wrestling.
It's not your fault you're an overachiever. Like the rest of
I,
them.
I felt like shit, though. I felt so bad.
Fuck. I mean, like, you can't even be embarrassed. Like, you just killed it. But,
Yeah.
God,
Yeah, that was probably my craziest moment, other than blowing my knee out that time when I was 13,
yes.
because I did that during warm-ups. So warm-ups are usually 5 minutes before you go out and perform in front of the judges and the crowd.
Yeah.
And I had no replacement, nobody to take my spot that knew the routine. So I literally had to go out there and cheer on my broken, dislocated knee. And that was like probably the other craziest thing I've done.
Yeah. So, where do you draw inspiration from, Allie Recks, the pro wrestler? Do you draw it from like pop culture, a certain actor, musician, or is it just you literally, it's like this whole creative thing?
Well, a lot of it is me, like as a person. Like it's just I go out there and I smile and I'm happy and that's kind of me day to day.
Yeah.
But as far as like my style and stuff like that goes, I've had a lot of influences on that, like just growing up in general.
Yeah.
Because this is just like how I dress now. But growing up, like I was a huge Lita fan. So the
Okay.
way Lita used to dress, like all badass and with those baggy pants and stuff, like I thought that was so cool. I was a tomboy growing up,
Yep.
so I tried like to go that style because I was like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And then I was a huge Avril Lavigne fan growing up, so she was
Ah.
always super skater and super like punky, like Hot Topic-y clothes. So that
Yeah.
always made me go into Hot Topic, and I want to dress like Avril Lavigne. So like I walked around high school. Oh my god, people made fun of me all the time. I was the weird wrestling girl because
I
I
love
was like
it.
a skater girl that just watched wrestling, and no other girl in the world, I guess, watched wrestling at that time. I don't know.
Or they weren't out about it. They were just like
Yeah,
closet wrestling fans.
yeah, pretty much. So that's where I kind of got my style from, and then it just evolved into me.
Cool. I like it. And that's what it should be. Your wrestling character is just a crazier, louder, more comical version of who you really are.
Yeah, I would say so too.
So, where you grew up in Jersey, you had like cheerleading was life, and I'm sure a lot of varsity sports were life.
Yep.
How is it that you ended up being the hot topic-y professional wrestling loving girl? Where did that come from? Family, friends?
Wrestling wise, I started watching it because of my cousins. I have a lot of
Oh,
boy cousins. So they watched it all the time, and every time like we went to my grandma's after school every single day until
yeah.
our parents would pick us up when they got out of work.
That was
And
my schedule too,
yeah,
actually.
you too. A lot of people I seem like that, and I loved
Yeah.
every minute of
Me
that. I wish I could go
too.
back. Like that was fun times with your cousins all the time.
Yeah. And
But
with your grandparents, you get away with a lot of shit.
oh, 100%. But at the same time, like they did not take anything. She would be so quick to take that spoon out, quicker than my mom.
Yeah, because grandparents are like, we've already done all the hard work as parents. Now we like don't give as much of a fuck. Just like don't die.
You're still breathing.
Yeah.
But like the minute we would walk in there, they would put the TV on, wrestling would be on. And at
Ah.
first I would like argue and like I would say like I don't want to watch this, I want to watch something else. And then eventually I would just peek over more and more and more, and I was like, wow, this is okay. I see why you guys watch this. This is cool. And then all of a sudden I'm playing with the action figures with them and wrestling in their little fake rings. And then that eventually turned into creating my own like promotion with my little brother at my house.
Oh, what was the promotion called?
We called it World Trampoline Wrestling. It was
Nice.
WTW, and like we were the most official, unofficial like wrestling company I've ever seen. We had contracts that everybody had to sign. It was
Wow.
crazy, and we would put like wrestling ropes on the trampoline with my mom's garden hoses, and then we would record it with her cameras and break all her cameras because they'd fall off the ladders. And, like,
Oops.
yeah, so it eventually evolved into that, and then I started training.
I really hope that that's part of your story. Like, I think that's a really cool aspect of where you've come from, especially as a female wrestler. Like, you hear about the Hardy Boys and how, the Hardy Boy faction and Shannon Moore and all the North Carolina boys, they had their own promotion, their home, like exactly what you're describing. But
Oh yeah,
seldom have you heard of this as a female wrestler. And you were kind of like, you're a little Vince McMahon-y. Like,
I had like production going. Like I don't know what I was thinking,
please
but I
make that
do
part of your
still.
story.
I do still have the contracts. I do like keep them safe. It
Please
is
send
like
me
my prized possession.
please send me a contract. I would love to read it, and I'm
I
going to attach it to this podcast.
honestly, I don't even care. I will. I 1000% will.
Oh my God,
But
that's
don't make fun of me.
no, no. I honestly, I think it's an incredible part of your story. It's a unique part of who you are and how deeply and how true of a wrestling fan you are.
Yeah, I was obsessed. I loved it as a kid. It was my escape. I didn't have like a crap ton of friends like that I would run to all the time. I ran home to watch Raw and SmackDown. Like that's what I looked forward to more than going out on a Friday night, even in high school.
I think that's a correlation between all of us. Like, obviously, we've never met. We've just been talking for the past 30 minutes, and I would already qualify you as a sister. Like, we feel like we've
Yeah,
known each other for a
100%.
million years. But I think with all of us, we're all these deep rooted misfits that don't fit in anywhere, but kind of fit in everywhere. But we all fit in the wrestling world. And it's this form of escapism.
Oh yeah, that's what makes us like one big family. Like you only have to meet one time, and that's it. You're part of the wrestling family. That's it. No.
And it's for life.
And I love that. I really do.
I do too. And I stepped away for 10 years, really trying to like normalize myself. And fuck, did it backfire.
I
Because here
tried to.
I am again.
I can't. I'm back again. It's like trying to retire. It's impossible to try to
Oh,
like
man.
retire
I
wrestling.
really gave it a go. Like 10 years is a good retirement, but,
Yeah, that was a good one.
you could take the girl out of wrestling, but you can't take the wrestling out of the girl.
No,
And
never.
you're a lifer. So how long have you been in the business now?
I started in 2014.
Okay.
Like 8 years. I've never been good at math. I really had to
Oh,
count
that's
that.
okay. I'm glad you did because I was like, this is less than 10
Oh,
years.
Lord. Yeah. Less than 10, but almost. So 8 now.
What is the craziest thing that's ever happened to you with a fan, like a fan interaction,
Fan interaction.
if anything?
That's a good question. I'm usually with my husband, so everybody knows to behave.
That helps
That does
tremendously.
help when you have like a 200 plus man behind you.
Yeah.
So not many
So no
people mess with
one's
me.
no one's ever thrown anything at you, said anything
No,
weird.
not for like not really. For most like places, I'm a baby face. I love to be a baby face. So I just try to please
Mm,
everybody, make everybody happy.
perfect.
So nobody's like really thrown anything at me.
That's good.
The craziest thing I guess I would say with a fan is like, I obviously have a couple that would show up to my job at the gym, and this one would show up every single day, and he became a member, and he would kind of just sit there and watch me like work, and he never said anything, never bothered me or anything, but like I was super uncomfortable. And the same fan I would
Yeah.
see at like every Florida show that I did, like even like Shine shows that would be like up at Tampa or in Port Richey, wherever I think that's where they were. Like
Hmm.
he would be there too. So that definitely freaked me out. And I did have to talk to like my higher ups, and we did have to like ask him to use a different gym elsewhere
Good.
because like it just became way too much.
For sure.
Yeah.
That is textbook stalking.
So that was probably
Like,
the craziest thing, but like I didn't feel threatened. I was more so just like uncomfortable of being watched while I worked all day, you know?
it's interesting because I feel like that's kind of part of the business where there's the like fandom is so fanatical. Like wrestling fans aren't like fans of anything else. They're the most hardcore
Yeah,
fans.
like
And
down, yeah.
yeah, and I think specifically probably with female wrestlers, there's maybe a little bit of like a darkness, like sexually. So like stalking isn't, I think we've all had a stalker or two, unfortunately, and it is a little bit part of the path. But I'm really glad you said something because you shouldn't have to deal with that in your place of work. You shouldn't have to deal with that, period. But
Yeah.
one thing I like to ask female wrestlers, because this is the reason why I've done this podcast. There's so little information about our intimate side, on the internet. We find out our heights, where we hail from, how much we weigh, a few of our finishing moves, but not a lot about who we are as people, what makes us tick. What would you like our listeners and the Allie Recks fans to know about you that they might not be able to find via Google? Or a misconception about you? What do you want the fans to know that they might not know otherwise?
Wow, that's a super good one. Mine would have been the fact that like I collect toys and I'm such a hardcore nerd. But we did kind of touch base on that a little bit already.
We started there.
We did pretty much start there.
But
Um,
tell me more if you want to tell me more. That's cool.
I'm just like like I like to play video games and stuff
Okay.
like that. But I'm like the more so old school stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I like to play like I have a Nintendo DS and I play
Oh,
Pokemon on that on all of my plane rides when I'm traveling to shows.
adorable.
um, Aside from that, I like my PS2. Like
Okay.
I go backwards and I play like all of those. So I spend a lot of free time doing that, and I spend a lot of time in like flea markets and Goodwills and places like that because that's where I find a lot of this stuff.
Ah,
So I do have like some, I used to vlog about it up on my YouTube, so I do have some up there, a couple of my hunts. So
cool.
that's like another side of me that a lot of people don't see.
Ah. Oh, I do love a good thrift.
Oh, I love thrift shopping. I have no problem with that. You will catch me in every thrift store in the area.
Is there good thrifting where you are?
Oh my God, the stores over here are awesome. Like
Cool.
they really are. They have so many video games, so many like I've gotten fake plants, like anything. Like and it's always good quality, nice things. Like it's so worth
Awesome.
it.
Yeah, it's just you just have to have the patience, but like, oh my
Oh,
gosh. It's like a
yeah,
treasure hunt.
that's like me and my husband spend like all weekend just going around walking around these stores and we love it. We're together, so we're just hanging out and we're shopping
I
all
love
day.
it. Well, I feel like we could talk forever, but I like to wrap up every podcast episode with my 10 tailor-made questions. Are you ready to
Yes.
play?
Okay, let's
Okay.
play.
Name one beauty product you cannot live without.
um my blue hair dye.
What brand do you use?
Oh, I use Overtone actually.
Oh, okay. I got questions.
Yes.
Brad Mondo's. I was having a stroke there for a second. Is it Brad Mondo's overtone?
No, I've actually always wanted to try Brad Mondo, so I
Oh,
think
interesting. I'm
that's
crossing
gonna
them.
be another one that I'm gonna try next. But this one actually, I get it online. It's just overtone.com, I
So
think.
it's the conditioner, color deposits.
Yes, and it's like totally vegan and it doesn't damage your hair at all. I can leave it in for 15 minutes or 15 hours and it's not gonna do anything but make it super soft and super blue. So I love that stuff. I just bleach it down to like platinum or as close as possible, and then you just
Okay.
put it right over, and then it comes with a conditioner too. So
Wow.
every time I wash my hair in the shower, I use the conditioner, it just deposits more blue. So definitely can't live without that, or I'm gonna be blonde again.
I like it. Oh, and you know what? I've been really curious about the overtone products because it sounds amazing. It's just a leave-in conditioner and it leaves color deposit without damaging your hair.
Yeah, it works great. I use the green on my husband's hair too because he
Oh,
has like a
cool.
green ombre going on. So I just go over it with the green.
I like it.
Highly
Okay.
recommend.
Also,
10 out of
send
10.
us free overtone products because we just talked about it for a full
I
two
know. Can you
minutes.
sponsor us, please?
And hi,
It's
Brad
expensive.
Mondo, too, because
Yes,
you're great.
hello.
What is your favorite exercise?
I like to work out shoulders because of the
Me
fact that I
too.
was a cheerleader. So my upper body is my like stronger point, other obviously than my legs, or we wouldn't be here.
I'm the
So
same.
that's like my fave. I like to
Cool.
hit those.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Um, Probably being spoken over if I'm talking to somebody or like being interrupted. I feel like you're not even remotely listening to me, and I kind of shut down for a second, like, okay, fine.
It is a terrible fucking feeling, especially if you're not like the loudest person in the room. If someone talks over you, it's just like
I'm
mood
like, oh,
killer.
okay, fine. But then I get over it. I guess it's just a pet peeve.
Fair enough. At least you get over it. Sometimes I hold the grudge. A little bit. Who is your celebrity crush?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know his real name. I probably should, but I like Owen from Jurassic World. He's like, I love him.
I
So,
like it
what is
more
his
that
real
you like
name?
the character, not the
Chris
actor.
Pratt.
Because those are two
That's
different
his name.
things.
Yeah, they more so the character. Yeah. I don't watch a lot of movies if it's not like dinosaurs or Scooby Doo. Like I'm watching YouTube 99% of the time.
You're the cutest human in the world. What is your favorite band or artist?
Avril Lavigne.
Good Canadian girl.
I love her, and she never gets old. Like at all. Her music never gets old. She never gets old. She doesn't age a
No,
day. Her
no.
style is awesome. So she's like my favorite, but I have so many like different favorites. I like Day to Remember. We could go to Shania Twain. I love her.
Yeah.
Like it's just a whole bunch of different
I
things.
guess Jersey and Canada, we probably like there's well, those are huge artists, but like I mean you probably had more exposure in Jersey than you would in Florida with Avril Lavigne and Shania
Oh yeah.
Twain and yeah. Do you have a secret vice like drinking a glass of wine in the shower?
Um, no, not honestly, no. I don't do anything crazy like that.
That's okay. What wrestler has the best entrance music?
The best entrance music. Hmm. Well, when I was a kid, I used to be obsessed with Maria's entrance music, like Maria
Oh,
Kanellis. And I used to listen to that like on repeat. For some reason, I thought it was just such a good song. So,
really? Hypes you up, Maria Canellis. Yes, girl. What is your drink of choice?
I like tequila sunrises or margaritas, the frozen margaritas, but not everybody has those.
No, that's true. It's pretty bougie.
Yeah, it's a bougie drink. What am I saying
Short,
over
the
here?
world, the life is short. Live your best life, whatever. What has been your most embarrassing moment in the ring?
God, this one's great. Okay,
Yes, I
so
like the way we're starting already.
this was the first and only time I've been on Botchamania. And so I guess I could say I made it in a way.
You've made it.
Yes, I did. And I was mortified when I first saw
Oh.
it.
Okay, do tell.
I don't know what year it was. It was a couple years ago. I had to be like 3 or 4 at this point, maybe three.
Okay.
It wasn't even my match. That was the worst part of it. It was my husband's match.
Oh.
And I was managing him under Federated, and I came out with him and our other manager, and we were like this group. And it was a six-way ladder match, and I had one job and one spot, and all I really had to do was come in and hit an NZ. He was
Yep.
going to sell to the ropes, and I was going to hit a 619.
Okay.
And I hit a 619 in almost every single one of my matches because Rey Mysterio is like my idol. So
Oh.
I like try to pay like my respect somewhere. So I
Yeah.
hit that in there. So I was like, perfect, I'll hit this. So the worst part about it was that this was his Impact debut for PPW when they worked with PPW in Pennsylvania. So it was a big moment for him. And I done messed it up. So basically,
Ah.
I go in there, I hit the NZ, that part was fine. I teeing up the 619, the crowd is there. I'm like in the moment, I'm loving it. I go to hit the 619 and I didn't realize that they taped over the ropes. So
Okay.
the ropes spun because we were towards the end of the night. So like the glue on the tape, I guess, got all nasty. So I don't know what just happened. So it spun on me and basically I bounced off the ropes and like fell back into the ring.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it was so bad. And then the guy that I was supposed to hit tried to cover it for me and sold it like I absolutely murdered him with it.
Oh, no.
And I didn't even make it through the ropes.
Crap.
So after that, I rolled out. I like buried my head into my manager's shoulder, and he's like, "It's fine, it's fine." I'm like, "No, this is terrible. Can I go under the ring? Like, can I just leave? Can I go somewhere other than here?"
It happens, girl. It happens and it makes you stronger.
Oh, it definitely did. But
And
I was
there
like,
is
oof.
no such thing as bad press.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now I
Truly.
look back at it and I laugh, and I'm just like, okay, it happens. It happens to everybody, and I've noticed that it happens on that move a lot. So it, I'm not alone.
No, you're not. And, you know, we've had tons of wardrobe malfunctions. We've had some period issues. We've had some peeing issues. So, girl, join the club. You're fine. So, where can our listeners find you on the interwebs?
I try to keep it very, very easy. So I'm
Good.
at Allie Recks on basically every single platform. So that'll be like Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon. I think that's all my pretty much go-tos.
Perfect. That keeps it
Oh,
easy.
nice and easy.
Okay, last one. Finish this lyric. He was a boy, she
Oh,
was a girl.
can I make it any more obvious?
He was a punk,
She did ballet.
What more can I say? Yay!
Yes.